going to mute you and let's go ahead and start on your back. Start to notice the breath this morning. And start to take some more intentional breaths in and out through the nose. Maybe you start to slow the breath down. It doesn't have to be forced. Just let it happen naturally over multiple cycles of breath. And just reach your arms up by your ears. A nice big morning stretch. And then hug the knees towards the chest. Take a rock side to side. And then keep the knees bent, just drop the feet down to the mat. Take your right ankle over your left thigh. And just pause for a couple of breaths with the left foot down. And then if you like, you can hug the left thigh towards the chest for thread the needle. And then for the last couple of breaths, if you want, you can straighten that left leg up towards the ceiling. And then just unwind all of that. Hug the knees back towards the chest and just notice how the hips feel, the back feels. And then drop the feet back to the mat. Take the left ankle over the right thigh and then just start with the right foot down again. And then maybe hug the right thigh in towards the chest. And then for the last couple of breaths, maybe you straighten that right leg. And then unwind all of that, just hug the knees towards the chest. Just drop your feet down to the mat. Take them wider than the hips, arms to a T, and just windshield wiper the knees side to side. And then next time the knees are to the center, pause there and just walk your feet back hips distance apart so you're in bridge with your legs. And just take your arms by your sides and press into the feet, roll yourself up into bridge. And then lower the hips back down. Just pause with the hips down. And then extend the legs back onto the mat. Reach the arms up by the ears. Give yourself another morning stretch. And then hug your knees toward your chest and just roll yourself up to a seated position. And once you're upright, just take your chin toward your chest. Take the right ear to the right shoulder. And then maybe take the left fingertips out onto the mat. And then maybe take your right fingertips to the left temple. And then just release the hands to the knees, take the chin to the chest, roll the left ear to the left shoulder. And maybe take the right fingertips to the mat. And then maybe left fingertips to right temple. And then return the hands to the knees, take the chin to the chest. Just lift the head to neutral. Let's change the cross of the legs. Take a little cat-cow with the spine. So on the inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, curl back and round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. And then we'll add the arms. Inhale, cactus arms, lift the chest. And exhale, curl the spine, close the arms. Inhale, lift and open. Exhale, curl and round. Inhale, lift and open. And exhale, curl and round. And then just lift the arms up by the ears. Interlace the fingers. Press the palms up towards the ceiling just for a moment. And then lower the arms down. Just take some shoulder rolls up and back. And then take your fingertips behind you, spin the palms towards the body. You're just getting this extension of the arms behind you. And if it feels okay, you can walk the fingertips a little bit away from the body and pull the chest up. And then just bring your arms back by your sides, spine back to neutral. And then let's just interlace the fingers, take a clasp of your hands and take some movement. And then opposite way, if you didn't take it the opposite way already, I was kind of moving all directions. And then you can make your way up into tabletop and just start to take some movement in tabletop. Maybe it's some cat-cow or moving of the hips. And then when you're ready, just sit back into child's pose. So while you're sitting in this child's pose, I took a class the other day with one of my teachers, and she did just some interesting sort of transitions between poses that I liked. So I thought we would do some of that today and surprisingly get you warm pretty fast because you're sort of repeating some of these movements. So we'll start with one of those. Come up into tabletop. And then spin your right foot to the right. Lift your left leg up and back and reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. So you're in gate pose with that left leg lifted. And then spin back into tabletop. Tuck your toes, take your hips back to your heels for child's pose with the toes tucked. And then bring your shoulders over your wrists and come into downward facing dog. And then from there, drop the knees, take the hips down to the heels for child's pose. You can untuck the toes this time. And then come back up to tabletop, gate to the other side. Take the left foot to the left, right leg up and back, right arm up towards the ceiling. We'll just move between those. So come back to tabletop, tuck the toes, hips to heels, child's pose. And then back through tabletop into downward facing dog. And then drop the knees, hips to heels, child's pose. You can untuck the toes if you want. And then back through table, right foot to the right, left leg back, left arm up. And then back through tabletop, tuck the toes, hips to heels, child's pose. And then back through tabletop, downward facing dog. And back down, knees down, hips to heels. Make me think this morning. And then back to tabletop, left foot to the left, right leg back, right arm up. And back to tabletop, hips to heels, child's pose. And back to tabletop, downward facing dog. And then drop the knees, hips to heels, child's pose. And then back to tabletop, right foot to the right, left leg up, left arm up. And then back to tabletop, child's pose. Back to tabletop, tuck the toes, lift the hips down, dog. Drop the knees, hips to heels, child's pose. And then back to tabletop, left foot to the left, right leg back, right arm up. And then back to tabletop, hips to heels, child's pose. And then back to tabletop. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. This time holding in down dog. I'm just taking any movement you'd like there. And then just walk your feet forward to your hands, forward fold, top of the mat. On your inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step to plank. Take an inhale in plank. Exhale, lower to your belly. Inhale for cobra, lift head and shoulder. And exhale, lower down, press through tabletop to downward facing dog. And then walk your feet forward to your hands, forward fold top of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart. And then just take your arms down by your sides. Cross your right ankle behind your left ankle. So you're standing with your ankles crossed. And then just take your left arm up by your ear. So this is a little tricky. We'll just take it slowly to start. So weight will be in your left foot, and you're gonna bring your right knee over to the right and bring your right elbow towards your knee. And then you'll replant that ankle behind the left, reach the arm up. And I'm just moving between those two. So knee and elbow towards each other. And then foot back down and arm up. So you can start to take this movement at your own pace. You can keep it slow if you feel like you just need to have a little more control. Or if you like, you can start to take it a little faster. You have, I don't know, maybe 30 more seconds on this side. Notice as you do it, your heart will start to pump. You'll start to get a little warmer, probably, at least I do. And then next time your foot is down, you can just lower the arm, uncross the legs, give yourself a little shake out. And then we'll take the other side. So left ankle behind, left arm by the ear. And then you can just start slowly bringing the knee and the elbow towards each other and then crossing it behind. Notice if one side feels easier than the other. And then maybe you start to take it a little faster if that's comfortable for you. I like this, it's balance. It's a little lateral movement, which we don't get a lot. And then next time the foot is down, you can just uncross the feet, take your arms by your sides, give yourself a little shake out. And then just come to mountain pose right where you are. And take an inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, go to downward facing dog. right, you could maybe come to child's pose if you'd like. And then just take your right leg up and back. Bring the foot between the hands, drop the back knee down, and just hold in that low lunge. So hands can be on blocks under the shoulders. It's a place to settle after taking some more movement in that funky little balancing pose. And then just plant your hands, step to down dog. We'll just change sides. So left leg up and back. Foot between the hands, back knee down, and hold in that low lunge. So low lunge with the left leg forward. And then just plant your hands, step back to downward facing dog. And then come forward into plank. Lower all the way to your belly. Take cobra or up dog. And then downward facing dog. Now take your right leg up and back. Bring the foot between the hands, stay on the ball of the back foot, and come up into crescent. And then take your arms by the ears, palms touch overhead, and then take the hands over to the left, just a little bit, so they're across the body, like that, yeah. And then from there, straighten your right leg, so both legs are straight as I knock myself over. And then bend your front leg and karate chop your arms across the body and down to the right. So move between those two, straighten the front leg, arms up and to the left. Bend the knee, arms down and to the right. So straighten and come up. Bend and come down. And then just continue at doing that. You can do it at that pace. You can take it a little faster if you like. And then just come back to crescent, arms up by the ears. And then take the hands down, step yourself to down dog. And then drop the knees for tabletop. Take an inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, curl the spine. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, curl and round. Inhale for cow. And exhale for cat. And then just come back to neutral. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. And then take the left leg up and back. Bring the foot between the hands, come up into crescent. Just take the arms up by the ears and then touch the palms overhead. Once the palms are touching, take the hands over to the right, so just a little diagonal across the body there. And then straighten the left leg. And then as you bend the left leg, take your arms across the body and down to the left. So straighten the left leg, arms up and to the right. And then bend the knee, arms down and to the left. Just continuing like that, straighten the left leg, arms up and to the right. Bend the knee down and to the left. Continuing on your own, you can stay at that pace. You can try it a little faster. This one I find kind of challenging personally. It's a lot happening, so even the balance is really challenged, which is actually a lot of these is the case. And then come back up to crescent, reach the arms by the ears, take the hands down, step yourself back to downward facing dog. Drop the knees down to the mat. Take 3 rounds of cat-cow on your own. And then after your 3rd round, come into child's pose. And then make your way back into down dog. Take your right leg up and back for 3-legged dog. And then bend the knee, open the hip. Straighten the leg, square off the hip. And lower the foot back down to the mat for down dog. And then drop the knees down to the mat so you're in tabletop. And then lift your shoulders so you're kneeling on your shins. Take a little twist of the torso to the right. Reach back with your right hand to the right heel. So you're taking like a little half camel pose. And then come back upright. We're going to go to the other side. Take your left hand to the left, right leg out, right arm up. So you're in gate pose. Yeah, I know it's hard to see me. Good. And then come back up to kneeling. And then bring your hands to the mat for tabletop, tuck the toes, lift the hips, down dog. We'll stay on that same side. So right leg up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip. Straighten the leg, square off the hip. Lower that foot down to down dog. Drop your knees for tabletop. Come up to kneeling, twist the torso to the right, reach that right hand heel. And then come back upright, take your left hand to the left, right leg goes out, right arm up. And then back to kneeling. Whew, I almost fell over. Come back to tabletop, tuck the toes, lift the hips down dog. You've got one more on this side, right leg up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip. Straighten the leg, square off the hip. Lower that foot back down dog. Drop the knees, tabletop. And then come up to kneeling. Little twist to the right, right hand reaches for the heel. And then come back upright, left hand to the left, right leg lifts, right arm up. And then come back to kneeling. Through tabletop to downward facing dog. Other side, the left leg up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip. Straighten the leg, square off the hip. Lower the foot to down dog. Drop your knees for tabletop. Come up to kneeling. Little twist to the left, left hand to left heel. And then come back to kneeling, right hand to the right, left leg up, left arm up. And then back to kneeling, forward to tabletop. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, down dog. Left leg up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip. Straighten the leg, square off the hip. Lower the foot to down dog. Drop the knees, tabletop. Come up to kneeling. Little twist to the left, left hand to left heel. And then back upright, right hand to the right, left leg up, left arm up. Back to kneeling. And then into tabletop to downward facing dog. You got one more of that side. The left leg up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip. Straighten the legs square off the hip. Lower the foot to down dog. Drop the knees tabletop. Come it up to kneeling. Twist the torso to the left, left hand to left heel. And then back upright, right hand to the right, left leg up, left arm up. And then back up to kneeling. Hands to the mat for tabletop. You decide child's pose or downward facing dog. You have a little bit of time wherever you choose. And then if you're in child's pose, make your way to down dog. And walk the hands and the feet towards each other, forward fold center of the mat. Take an inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands to the heart. And then maybe just bring your hands to your hips. Put weight into your left foot. We're gonna make this little figure eight with your right leg. So bring your right knee sort of across the body and then take it out. So you can just practice that little fluid movement with your right leg just to see how that feels. We're gonna transition between that and something else in a moment. But let's try the other side. So lower that foot down and then take that left leg into that figure eight. That leg is so much harder for me for some reason. All right, and then lower that down. Just give yourself a quick little shake out. And then we'll start with that movement on the right leg. So take that figure eight movement just a couple of times. And then from there, we're gonna come into like an upright half moon pose. So right leg will start to go back. You'll start to lean forward a little bit, but it doesn't have to be very far. And then you're gonna come back upright, spin forward, and take that figure eight with the right leg. So maybe like 2 rounds of the figure eight with the right leg, and then hinging into that little upright half moon. And then just moving between those two on your own. You can go fast or slow. You're probably gonna wobble, maybe you're gonna fall over. Just embrace the challenge of it. And then just take one more round. And after you take that little half moon, you can just come upright, shake everything out. Notice how your standing leg feels, and it's feeling a little tired in the outer hip. And then we'll start to do the other side. So a couple figure eights with that left leg, and then into your upright half moon. And just take your time here. Notice the slower you go, the more control you have. And just continue on your own. Yeah, just a couple more rounds. And today's class is not very traditional. It's good to shake it up and make our brains think. And then after your next round, once you finish half moon, just come to standing. Maybe you give yourself a little shake out. And then just come to mountain pose right where you are. Take an inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale your way to down dog. Maybe you take a vinyasa just to clear out all this interesting, different stuff. Do something familiar. And then drop your knees, make your way back to seated so you can take your legs straight out in front of you. We're about to cool down. We have one more sort of challenging thing here. So let's hug the left knee towards the chest. So the right leg is still straight, left knee is hugged in. And then just take your right hand behind you. So you can decide if you're up for this morning. You can stay right here. If you want, you're gonna roll onto your right side, lift your hips and come into a modified side plank with that left arm up. And then you're gonna pull the left knee towards the left armpit and then bring that leg or that left foot toward your right hand so you're in a lunge. So we're gonna move in and out of that. So you'll spin to the outer edge of the right foot, left knee to left armpit, take that left foot behind you, and then lower the hips down, spin forward so you're seated with that left knee hugged in. So right hand behind you, roll to the right, lift the hips, that modified side plank. Left knee to left armpit, bring that foot next to your right hand. And then spin to the outer edge of the right foot, knee to armpit. Left foot behind you, lower the hips, turn forward. You can continue like that at your own pace. If you're like, oh, I'm getting tired, I don't want to do that, you can just hang forward. Do 2 more rounds of that on your own, and then we'll meet facing forward. It's mean to put that at the end of class. All right, just extend your legs out, give them a little shake out before we do the other side. This is the last little bit of challenge, then you totally get to cool down. So you might need to scooch over a little bit. I like to scooch over so I'm still on my mat. Hug your right knee towards your chest. And then left hand behind you. Lift the hips, right knee to armpit, and bring that right foot next to your left hand. And then coming out of the outer edge of left foot, right knee to armpit, right foot behind you, lower the hips and spin forward. This side's harder for me this morning. Left hand behind you, right knee to armpit, right foot next to left hand. And then spin to the outer edge of the left foot, right knee to armpit, and come back to seated and spin forward. Yeah, 2 more on your own if you want. We'll meet back seated. And then once you're back seated, just extend your legs out, give them a little shake out. And then hug the right knee back towards the chest. You can stay there, you can cross that foot over if you want, and then if you want, you can bend your left leg. We're actually just gonna sit up right here, so no twists today, so just close your eyes. You can stay there if you want. You can walk your feet away from each other so your knees stack for your Gomukhasana legs. And you can walk your hands gently forward. And then come all the way back up, unwind the legs, take them out in front of you, give them a little shake. Like we're having technical difficulties this morning. Sorry if you're having trouble hearing me. Take the left knee, hug it in. Cross the left foot over if you like, and then bend the right knee. Again, just staying upright here. So maybe close the eyes. Maybe if you'd like, walk the feet away from each other and stack the knees and walk the hands forward. And then walk the hands back, lift the chest, unwind the legs one more time, shake them out. And then just come to a cross-legged position. We'll do just a quick little massage here. So take your left hand on top of your right shoulder. Just find the shoulder blade with the fingertips and walk above it. You can kind of feel around there for a place that might feel a little tenser or tender. And then just press the fingers down towards the floor. Close the eyes. Take a couple of breaths. Like lift the chin up and away over to the left. And then just release that hand, bring the head to center, take a couple shoulder rolls. And then just change sides, right hand over left shoulder, find the shoulder blade with the fingertips and then just go above it and you can kind of walk around. Find a place you'd like to land, press the fingers down towards the floor, close the eyes. And then maybe lift the chin up and away. And then return the hand to the lap, bring your head back to neutral. Just take a couple more shoulder rolls. And then take your arms to a T, right arm over left arm. Just a couple of breaths here. And then arms to a T, change sides, left arm over right. And then just unwind that, make your way onto your back. And hug your knees towards your chest. Just pause with the knees hugged in. See if you can let the head and the neck be soft. And then take your arms out to a T and drop your legs to the right for a twist. And draw the legs through center, drop them to the other side. And then come back to center, hug the knees in, or maybe take happy baby. And if you're in happy baby, hug the knees back in, give yourself a squeeze. And then release, find your way into Shavasana. Start to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your ankles and wrists. Reach your arms by your ears, big stretch. And roll off to your favorite side. Pause there, eyes closed. with stillness, you start to see things as they truly are. It's one of the things I think brings people back to yoga again and again, is this opportunity to find stillness. One of my students the other day said that it's like his mind is a bunch of puzzle pieces, and once he's still, the puzzle starts to get put together. And I liked that. Press into your top hand, make your way up to a comfortable seat, eyes closed, hands at the heart. And we have a wonderful day and weekend. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.